The Peabody Historical Society. The Junior House, Felton Smith House, established in 1683. This is the Felton family. They constructed the house and were the first family to live in the Felton Smith House. They occupied the house for almost 2 centuries. This is the Smith family. Joseph Smith, a member of the Smith family, purchased the home from the Feltons in 1902. Between the years of 1976 and 1983, the Smith family sold their home and different parts of their land to the town of Peabody. This is the senior house on their land, but both the Felton and Smith families lived in the junior house. This is the junior house on their land. The Felton Smith house is located in the middle of Peabody and was a site that produced and provided resources for the families and those who needed them. The Felton Smith home was a very nice and well-established home that was a place used for the production of resources and necessities for the lives of the family and the people living in the surrounding area. Located behind the house is a field in which fruits and vegetables were grown. These fruits and vegetables were given to the citizens living in the surrounding area and the sailors in Salem. They were helpful in preventing diseases such as scurvy when the sailors were out at sea. The fruits and vegetables were also helpful in maintaining a healthy, balanced diet. Many food items were preserved in jars and stored on shelves in the home to last or to be sold or traded to people that needed them. They not only grew things in their yard, but they also made products by hand using materials such as cloth, wool, and other fabrics. The families produced different types of clothing and materials needed for warmth and protection, all by hand. To help make their clothes faster, they used a loom, which was believed to be the only one in America at the time. It was also believed to have been smuggled from England in 1680. They designed their own patterns of cloth to use for producing handmade clothing and quilts. The families were both very resourceful and used proper techniques when performing specific tasks to ensure that everything was done right to keep their house in good shape. The house contained 38 rooms and was often hard to maintain. The women were usually the ones that did most of the housework because they would stay home and work around the house as well as caring for the children. The women would do all of the cooking for the family using the fruits and vegetables grown in their garden along with other foods. The meals were cooked in an open fire. One of the techniques they used to prevent diseases was tightening the mattresses. They would pull the ropes located underneath the hay-filled mattresses in order to prevent the mattress from touching the floor and bugs crawling into it. The house contained a sick room. This is where the sick children would rest and the mothers would care for them. They did this to prevent the spread of disease and illness. Because the women could not do all of the work while maintaining the entire house and their children, the families hired servants that lived in the house with them and helped with work around the house. The servants slept in their own room up on the very top floor. Servants were helpful in performing certain tasks around the house and assisting the families. The servants had their own room in which they would produce items for the families. The room contained several types of tools for making certain products. An example is the creation of shoes. The servants would use a tool called a metal last to construct the shoes and measure the proper fitting of the shoes to fit the specific person. Being able to work in the Felton Smith house, the servants were provided with jobs, a place to stay, and a salary for them to be able to make a living. The development of our community and country can be partly credited to the Felton and Smith families and the site of the Peabody Historical Society for the availability of their resources to everyone in the surrounding areas.